Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Off the Rails podcast. I'm your host, Gregory, and today, once again, we are doing a solo podcast. I did try to get some people on, but some personal things happened, and then weather was also not great on the date that we usually record. So that also got in the way. But this coming week, I'm gonna try my very best once again to try to get at least one person in, so at least we have someone else to talk to, or a over one person podcast for next week. I do appreciate your patience with me. It's not the easiest thing to match everyone's schedule and then get them to meet me somewhere, see what the options are best for. Um, so today's going to be an even shorter episode than last week. I wanted to talk about something that I don't think I've talked about much so far, which is me. I did an episode, I believe 1.5 or so. I did, or one of those, the first two. I did briefly talk about my goal and things like that, but I wanted to just rephrase it and to go into a little bit more in depth when it comes to who I am, what my goal is, and what the goal of this podcast is. So first of all, my name, as you all may know, is Gregory. I am a 21-year-old born in America, raised in Brazil. I am bilingual. I am definitely more culturally Brazilian, but as I said, I was born here. I'm currently working a full time job and attempting to finish my associates by definitely this year, if not the beginning of next year. I am an author of the book Blooming Wings of the Heart, which the link will be in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. And I'm trying to add my social media pages to the links. So even if you are in the even if you're listening to this on a audio format, as in Audible, Spotify, or something of the sort, you should be able to check it out. But as I said, my name is Gregory, and my main goal is to simply I want to help. I want to do my own way of trying to help those who allow me to help them. And what I mean by that is by using this podcast, I would like to invite people over to talk about things that they may not be able to talk or feel comfortable talking about with many other people. And even if they do, others may not listen to them. And let's say even if this podcast does hit big one day, I'm not planning on talking to celebrities only. My goal, my sole main goal, is to talk to people, like the hardworking, as you say, the middle class or so, or even I'll be open to talk to anyone from any sort of wealth background or anything like that. But my goal is not to go any like us celebrities only just for the views. I want to get people that may not have a platform to speak on. I may not feel comfortable talking to others, or like as I said before, even if they do, others may not even listen to them. So that is my one of my big goals with this podcast. My other one, of course, is to help publish their works if they're an author, if they're trying to make their own music, things like that. I would like to support them as well, and hopefully we can all just help each other in the end. So that is one of the biggest goals with this podcast here. And it's also another one of the other big goals is just to get me to meet new people. I love meeting new people. It's definitely hard with this culture compared to a Brazilian culture or more openly social culture. Not that it's a bad culture, it's different. It's not my style, but by doing this, I learn a lot about people, and others get to hear other people's experiences. And sometimes you may think that you are the only one going through something, and you may feel alone. But sometimes, even though other people may not have or may not be experiencing or have experienced exactly what you're experiencing, I believe there are some out there who can at least relate to you, and you may be able to relate to them, and you may not feel alone, or as alone at least. So that is the other thing. I want to help connect other people to get their stories out, because I believe there are many people out there who haven't told their stories, and it's just very just important, meaningful. Maybe it's a tough patch in their life that they got through, or they're trying to get through something that they might be fighting, having a war inside of them, but maybe they don't feel comfortable talking to anyone else about it. And of course, I'm not going to force anyone to say their names or anything like that. It cannot be as confidential as the person is comfortable with. Um, so of course, I wouldn't want to get someone's name out just because especially if they feel uncomfortable, if they're if they have anxiety about it. I definitely want to try to make people feel as comfortable as possible. So there's that too. And yeah, I simply just have this big goal, and things are going maybe not as smoothly as I would want them to, with uh 2 weeks in a row, no special guests in the podcast. But I definitely will be working really hard, trying my best to get people on. I thank everyone for your patience and for listening. I really do. Even if you don't think your view means a lot, or your comment or your like means a lot, it does mean more than you may know. You can never get to a million or a billion or even 100 or 10 or even five without that first one. So I appreciate you being here, appreciate you listening. And I guess I would just talk a bit more about me. I've always loved animals. I've always liked to help people. I'm a really empathetic person. I have a lot of empathy. I love, as I said, meeting new people, talking to people, socializing. Good people. There are those who think that they're good people, but they're not, and there are those who don't think they are, but they are. It's all about a matter of perspective of self and others as well. But even meeting new people that even I may not like, just listening to their stories and their points of view, and what has brought them to who they are now, is something that I found quite interesting. A little bit about my book, which is does connect with being part of um, my life. It is a book that I have created on for over 8 years, I think 6 years, something like that. It was a bit on and off. But one day I was playing video games, and I just realized that I wanted to make something that I could remember, that I'd be really proud of. So I got on that, started grinding it, and I published it. I believe it was to 2020, or yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 2020. I published it, and it's not a book that you can really sit down and turn your brain off and read. It's a really complex read. I was kind of obviously hoping that someone would understand, but at the same time, it's such a complex book. With so many deeper meanings that I've always, of course, there are those moments where I feel a bit demotivated and wonder if anyone would even get close to understanding. Which actually, one or two have gotten decently close, closer than what I thought people would get, which is definitely a great sign. And yeah, it's free on Amazon. If you have Amazon Prime, you can read it on Audible for free. The links will be in the description for the episode on YouTube, and potentially for the other podcasts as well. The we do have an Instagram. It is called off underscore the underscore rails. Um, I'm gonna try to be a bit more active. I'm still trying to think what kind of content I would be posting on those things. Definitely, when I get more people over, it will definitely be more active in terms of content with them, and pictures, videos, things like that. My other big goal with this podcast is to one day, if if uh if it is if it is for the best, I would like to have a studio. Would like to have start adding video to the podcast, have an editor, have more people over, have like a 4-person podcast. That'd be great. Closest thing I've gotten so far was a 3 with my other co-hosts, which are one stepping down for personal reasons, and the other one I'm trying to probably rearrange or arrange something. So you may hear from him very soon. Sheldon, you may hear from him as well quite soon. He's also a bit busy with his personal life. My mother has her own personal thing going on right now. She's healing from something. She's fine. She's just yeah, she's just um healing from like a, you know, something mild. So yeah, my options have been a bit limited for guests, but I'll definitely, like I said, I'll definitely try to get some people in, uh, and hopefully, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some deep, funny, unhinged conversations. Make things fun. And if you have any comments, if you have anything you'd like to mention or ask, please feel free to do so. Um, I'm not really picky. Your comment or question may be asked or mentioned on the next episode. I'm not there's a couple of questions that I do have. I'm not asking them right now just because I would prefer to ask them with while I have a guest, so it's a bit more fun for me, for the guest, and for the people listening as well. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Um, just I figured I would add a little bit more about me. Um, and yeah, it's just been a really interesting life, which I'm grateful for everything I have. My mother worked two jobs to get me where I am right now, and it was not easy on her or on me, but we're making it well, and hopefully one day we will be doing this with more people, and it's gonna be a blast. I don't care if this doesn't get any views at all, if this or if this only gets 20 views. I think 20 views is awesome. I'm grateful for all those 20 people that listen. But I do this because I love talking, and I figured I might as well record it so I have something to remember it. Um, something to remember, something else to remember myself by. Together with my book, which I do have many other books, which is my other big thing. I love creating stories. I create them when I'm driving to work, back from work, when I'm just walking around, talking to people, watching other movies, and getting inspired by certain concepts. And I'm creating at least five others right now. I'm trying to focus on one. Have not worked on it on a while, but I would like to get back to it sooner than later. But yes, once again, this is going to be probably hopefully the shortest episode of this podcast ever. This is your host, Gregory. If you have any comments, questions, and you're listening to this on YouTube, feel free to post, comment, whatever you feel like. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Audible, if there's any sort of rating system, please do. Feel free to be honest and blunt to your heart's content. If you hate it, still thank you for listening and giving it a try. If you love it, thank you very much for listening. I do appreciate you very much. And I hope you all enjoy your nights and enjoy your days. Here in America, it was daylight savings time, so I did lose a bit of an hour of sleep, and I did not realize that. So I'm gonna try to sleep a bit more tonight. But y'all, please take care of yourselves, rest well. Um, Try to work on yourselves. Progress may be slow, and it may really be tough to appreciate the small things, the small steps that you do because you may consider them so small. But remember that it is with the small steps that we can achieve greater goals. Okay? So, once again, thank you very much for listening to another episode of the Off the Rails podcast. This is your host, Gregory, signing out. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. And we will hopefully see you next week with a special guest. Thank you.